menuju ke arah manakah yang akan mereka lakukan? Karena kalau bicaranya tentang ternyata Gatot Kaca langsung ditutup, Om.
Menarik sih Gatot Kaca ya. Spesifik band atau Gatot Kaca bakal mengacaukan draft buat Mongolia mungkin ya. Karena jarang sih kita lihat Gatot Kaca di band. Atau mereka bisa band semua hero-hero EXP lane dulu. Hilda, kalau mereka gak mau pakai buat Hildanya. Popheus juga masih ada. Jadi titik berat untuk di patch yang sekarang sebenarnya itu ada di EXP lane. Bakal jauh lebih nyaman untuk bisa melakukan setup seandainya EXP lane mereka bisa menang buat laningnya. Dan bisa juga untuk melakukan setup.
Oke, wow. Tapi ya Chushin masih di band juga untuk saat ini. Udah, ini look udah pede banget ya Om, kita lihat ya tuh. Semangat ya, gak apa-apa, kita bawa vibe positif juga ya kan. Berarti mereka udah lumayan confident nih untuk berada di sana. Tapi Chip yang bahkan akhir-akhir ini kita ngelihat Chip ini di band sama Blue Side, Om.
Ya, kayak mereka mungkin tidak ingin ada dua lah Chip dan siapapun yang bisa diambil juga. Kayak kalau ngambil Chip satu bakal ditukar dengan dua yang lain juga bakal cukup rugi sih kalau mereka nggak bisa follow up buat Chipnya. Dan seperti yang kita mention juga tadi ya, bagaimana Matilda memang wajib buat di ban ini masih cukup powerful sebenarnya di tangan dari roamer mereka. Jadi mereka harus buang dulu untuk Matildanya dan bahkan bisa dipaketkan dengan hero-hero Xbox Alpha. Jadi better memang untuk ditiadakan buat Matilda.
Patahin dulu ya kombonya ya. Jadi fighter-fighternya nggak bakal semakin lebih leluasa lagi nantinya untuk Mongolia. Tapi band ketiga menuju ke arah Phobius ini lumayan lebih ke target setupnya dulu nggak sih yang mereka tutupin Om dari Mongol?
Ya mereka ingin EXP-nya sih, balik lagi EXP yang bakal ditutup dulu buat Mongolnya. Mereka pengen menang buat EXP-nya. Jadi mereka bakal lebih fokus untuk meniadakan ya hero-hero yang memang cukup mengganggu nih. Dari Gatot Kaca bawa Revitalize gak bakal tumbang-tumbang cepat ya, banyak source skill yang bakal terbuang. Sama juga dengan Popheus nih, kalau Popheus sampai dia melompat, ini bakal cukup mengacaukan irama karena dia bisa ada di mana-mana. Dan untuk mid laner atau dengan hero yang bermain di bagian belakang, ini bisa langsung di dash, diterobos dengan si Popheusnya. Jadi dua-duanya sudah di ban dan gak ada Fanny. Yang berarti apakah Hilda kembali menjadi pilihan untuk Mongolia atau bisa diambil nih dengan tim Indonesia, Ul?
Mendingan di-deny gak sih? Bahaya kalau misalkan memang mereka concern sama EXP-nya, terus mereka nggak ngambil Hilda, itu akan menjadi tanda tanya besar nih. Karena Luke akan dibiarkan menggunakan Hilda akan semakin mengerikan lagi, dan ya Hildanya langsung diambil dulu, di-deny, dan dijawab langsung oleh Indonesia dengan adanya kombinasi antara Iesf dan juga Suyo.
Yap. Suyo ya, Iesf yang memang selalu muncul juga dari kemarin dipergunakan dengan Sans, dan memang kombinasi dari Iesf bersama dengan Kibo ini selalu bisa berjalan mulus. Dan ada Suyo yang sebenarnya mendapatkan nerf ini terutama buat di early game nih Ul. Karena sekarang dia butuh 2 item untuk menyamai cooldownnya dengan apa yang didapetin sebelum kena nerf. Dari 6,5 kan ke 8,5 detik, panjang banget tuh cooldownnya ternyata. Tadi aku baru coba soalnya.
Lumayan ya, kerasa ya pasti dari cooldownnya juga. Dan One itu dia yang berkali-kali siapapun yang ketemu sama sosok dari cewek ini mencoba untuk tutup aja One-nya, dan sekarang langsung diamankan menjadi 3 pick awal untuk Indonesia.
Oke. Moskov lawan One, tapi masih ada Alpha juga. Ini menjadi pegangan sedari group stage untuk Mongolia ya. Dengan efek burst yang bisa diberikan dengan Alpha, ini sebenarnya masih bisa untuk menabrak balik kalau memang Suyonya lagi progres untuk cooldown dari semua 3 skill yang dipegang dengan Suyonya. Tapi One menjadi salah satu pegangan yang cukup kuat ya bagi tim Indonesia, karena sekali saja ada weakness point yang pecah, ini akan menjadi shifting untuk momentum team fight-nya yang bisa jauh dipegang dengan tim Indonesia. Dan bahkan mereka sudah buang atau ban ke Khalid yang akan lebih memudahkan jelasnya untuk tidak ada yang bisa menangkal nanti crossbow of tank. Jadi lebih memaksakan untuk penggunaan Winter Truncheon.
Iya, dan di grillnya ini dia yang di-ban langsung tidak akan dibiarkan. Dan seperti apa yang ngomong mention juga tadi di pre-game-nya, kombinasi antara Tigreal dan Iesf yang menjadi salah satu poros utama dan sekarang udah mulai dipatahin. Dan concern banget terhadap hero-hero dari Kiboy ya untuk 2 band terakhirnya. Ini langsung target karena cowoknya sekarang. Sementara dengan AK yang di-ban oleh Indonesia, mereka akan coba untuk mengamankan menuju ke arah EXP-nya terlebih dahulu kah?
EXP ya. Sebenarnya Luke, kita bicara Luke banyak banget loh hero-hero EXP-nya dia.
Arlot
hero yang jarang keluar tapi lagi di buff sekarang. Lapu-lapu.
Oke.
Terus
Banyak
masih
sih.
ada siapa lagi? Arlot, betul.
Oke. Terlalu luas juga sih sebenarnya, bahkan kalau ngelihat lu kayak Masya ya kan, nggak nutup kemungkinan juga bisa dia bawakan, tapi Idit fleksibel tetap yang diambil sama Indonesia dan 2 pick terakhir nih Om, kira-kira dari Mongolia bakal coba untuk memanfaatkan kombinasi apa nih?
Mereka bisa coba buat mainin Stunlock kali ya. Aurora ini masih cukup available kalau mau dipakai, karena dengan efek Frosty Breeze-nya ini lebih sulit sebenarnya untuk Suyo-nya bisa masuk. Edit pun bisa kena dengan Frosty Breeze, atau Hilda-nya juga kan masih fleksibel sebenarnya, bisa buat jadi roamer ya. Jadi masih belum kelihatan lah mau di mana, meskipun memang belakangan kita melihat Hilda ini selalu dimainkan sebagai EXP lane. Ya, yang paling jelas terbukanya untuk mid laner sih. Mungkin seperti Valentina juga nih masih bisa dipergunakan oleh Mongolia.
Udah Valen, kalau sebenarnya hero power dari Rafaela dan Valentina. Wow. Rafaela, kita tahu Rafaela ini memang ada sedikit bantuan untuk adanya anti slow Om, tapi apakah efektif untuk bisa dibawakan oleh Mongolia berhadapan dengan adanya Iesf sekarang?
Menurutku efektifnya cuma sebentar ya, dan masih tetap terkena efek stun tuh di bagian pinggir dari real world manipulation. Jadi gak terlalu membantu banyak, tapi kalau mau main tabrak ini Mongolia mereka strong sih kalau main tabrak. 4 di awalnya dengan bantuan Rafaela, setup mereka bakal strong banget untuk di turtle. Wow. Oke. Uranus.
Uranus walaupun sebenarnya berarti benar-benar akan menjadi pengganggu ya, tapi ngelihat dari Mongolia mereka membawakan 5 hero yang bisa kita katakan ini close range combat, karena Moskov juga range-nya nggak terlalu yang jauh-jauh banget, walaupun ya Valentina dia punya skill untuk nge-copy mungkin nantinya dari road manipulation juga. Tapi pemilihan Uranus nih Om untuk Indonesia, apa yang direncanakan oleh mereka?
Jelasnya mereka merencanakan untuk main di late game sih Ul. Mereka punya 1-1 kan. Tapi berarti dari tim Indonesia damage mereka untuk di awal gak bakal terlalu besar. Dengan Suyo yang memang sudah terkena nerf ya untuk semua skill 1, 2, 3-nya dia nih ya, ini agak sedikit sulit untuk bisa memenangkan duel-duel di early-nya. Jadi mereka harus waspada jangan sampai alfanya ini bisa tiba-tiba snowball dan ada 2 gap level yang didapatkan dengan alpha. Dan Uranus yang dibawakan ya late game insurance-nya jelas ada 1-1, dan ini harus bisa jalan untuk Uranus-nya. Mungkin cut lane-nya bahkan masuk ke dalam base saja, ambil 2 lane dulu seperti biasa ya. Tugas-tugas dari Uranus. Cuman secara draftnya bisa kita bilang early game-nya Mongolia mereka cukup unggul. Mereka bisa punya efek burst yang banyak. Mereka masih ada Moskov yang bisa join team fight. Mereka masih ada Alpha nih dengan true damage-nya dia. Valentina juga bahkan bisa nge-spam kan buat semua source skill-nya nanti dengan Arcane Shadow Strike-nya. Dan bahkan bisa di-heal yang akan menjadi mungkin bonus tambahan ya untuk mereka bisa main kiting nanti.
Iya, fight jangka panjangnya cukup diunggulkan berarti ya untuk Mongolia dengan membawa aja Rafaela di sana. Tapi kita akan lihat apakah Suyo yang kena nerf ini akan bisa tetap dioptimalkan, akan tetap bisa juga membawa adanya early agresif. Karena kayaknya untuk dari segi draftnya mereka agak sedikit harusnya lebih nahan dulu gak sih? Jangan terlalu main agresif juga, mengingat dari draft yang dibawakan sama Mongolia mereka cukup kuat sekarang.
Iya, mereka agak bisa bermain seperti berjumpa dengan mungkin di grup set mereka ya, ketemu dengan Guam, ketemu dengan Mesir, mereka berani buat masuk di menit yang kedua. Tapi untuk sekarang nih ya, dikarenakan ya mereka ngebawain Uranus, ya Uranus bakal ya tahan lane aja. Ya bakal tahan di lane-nya, sedangkan Hilda-nya akan jauh lebih agresif untuk bisa ngepok kiri kanan nantinya. Jadi ya mungkin untuk early team fight-nya kalau bisa dihindari dulu nih. Tapi kalau memang mereka dari tim Indonesia berhasil untuk menangin early-nya, ini bakal bagus juga sih, karena secara ini adalah draft yang cukup mengandalkan ya untuk snowball, dan juga cukup mengandalkan untuk 1-1 nanti. Jadi ya Winter Crown jadi musuh utama banget nih buat tim Indonesia.
Momentum berarti ya untuk one-one-nya juga, jangan sampai nantinya Winter Crown ini menjadi salah satu masalah, karena ya bisa dijawab juga kan agar tidak nantinya crossbow of tank yang merembet. Dan early yang harus dipegang sekarang jangan sampai dibiarkan untuk Mongolia bisa melakukan banyaknya agresivitas dengan draft yang mereka bawakan juga. Dan pastinya Uranus ini akan menjadi salah satu faktor juga yang akan ngeganggu bagaimana pola strategi yang akan dibawakan sama Mongolia, karena bisa dikatakan untuk berhadapan dengan Hilda yang biasanya emang nge-cut juga, ya udah sama-sama bakal cut juga. Dan harusnya Uranus tipikalnya lebih jauh loh nge-cutnya Om ya di depan base turret.
Yap. Lebih jauh dia memang, cuma lebih ada resiko lah buat di ganking lebih dalam kan, karena dia ada di belakang turret yang kedua, Hilda itu bisa di belakang turret yang pertama, dan Hildanya ya kalau menangnya Hilda ya mungkin karena movement speednya dia juga ya. Dan setiap kali dia masuk ke dalam rumput duel dengan Uranus itu bakal imbang sih sebenarnya untuk duelnya. Stack 20 Uranus berhadapan dengan Hilda juga dengan stacknya dia nanti waktu dia dapetin pasifnya di area rumputan. Jadi sama-sama kuat lah buat EXP-nya. Tinggal siapa yang bakal melaksanakan job dash-nya dengan baik juga. Karena Uranus jelas kalau untuk pegangin belakang Uranus kuat. Si Valentina terus juga dengan Rafaela ini udah jelas. Dua hero yang nggak bakal bisa langsung menumbangkan Uranus. Tapi kalau memang di cover dengan Alpha ini yang harus diwaspadai. Jangan sampai kelok nih buat Uranusnya. Berarti kemungkinan kita bisa melihat Uranus yang dibawakan ini akan menggunakan Purify biar nggak kena lock.
Purify ya. Mungkin bisa dibawakan juga. Berarti kalau untuk Mongolia ya benar-benar mereka membawa team fight-nya ke arah Moskov juga ya, harusnya sebagai damager yang bisa ngelumat ke arah Uranus.
Yap. Moskov ya jelas lah poin pentingnya untuk mungkin dari tim Mongolia ya. Kita melihat mereka bisa split push nih. Mereka punya Moskov. Mereka bakal jauh lebih enak juga untuk bisa dorong satu lane, dan juga Moskov dengan attack speed yang kita tahu siapapun nanti di late game maupun kena Uranusnya. Uranus bahkan bakal cepat untuk bisa ditumbangkan nanti.
Oke, sambil menunggu juga ya untuk masuk ke gamenya nanti akan seperti apa. Untuk dari segi draftnya juga sudah dibawakan oleh masing-masing tim. Sembari menunggu untuk kalian yang bersabar, kita punya hadiah untuk kalian karena ada redeem code yang langsung bisa claim sekarang juga. Cepet-cepetan, jangan sampai kalah cepat.
Yap. Tuh, redeem code-nya pendek loh sekarang loh ya. Jadi gampang banget kalau kalian mau claim, kalian ke profile kalian ada gambar gear atau setting. Udah pencet di sana, nanti ada keluar redeem, kalian masukin kode yang kalian lihat di bawah kita sekarang nih. Nah.
Langsung ya, jangan cuman mau kalah retri aja nih. Nih udah nih di sini. Menang juga, menangin cepet-cepetan. Jangan sampai ketikung juga nih, masa urusan redeem code aja ketikung juga kan nggak bagus ya. Jadi langsung kalian redeem sekarang, jangan sampai kelewatan. Kita bakal kasih hadiah terus-terusan juga buat kalian. Sembari menunggu untuk adanya sedikit pause yang terjadi ya menuju ke game yang pertama juga. Secara draft tadi udah kita bahas secara tuntas ya, sampai dari early game potensial yang bisa dibawakan juga oleh tim Mongolia. Sementara kalau ngeliat dari Idit ini juga bakal jadi, kadang ya kalau ngeliat Idit di depan Valentina tuh jadi serba salah gak sih Om?
Benar sih. Karena bisa diambil kan primal right-nya dia, dan Valentina lebih kuat nih untuk di level 4 yang awal. Apalagi kalau editnya di sini kan akan bermain sebagai roamer ya. Jadi jelas dia akan ketinggalan satu level. Valentina level 4 lebih dulu, diambil primal right-nya, dipakai duluan. Jadi kalau bisa nge-pick off duluan bakal enak sebenarnya nantinya buat si Valentina. Tapi aku lebih penasaran untuk lihat itemnya Valentina ya. Karena belakangan kita melihat Valentina dengan item Stallion Sight. Ini udah menjadi semacam template item juga buat Stallion Sight. Karena memang ya selain dari cooldown reduction yang bisa didapatkan, ada spell steal-nya juga, ada true damage-nya juga. Ya karena dia memang nge-spam aja. Dia bakal bisa nge-spam Arcane Shade-nya, Shadow Strike-nya, dan itu akan membuat dia ya lebih sustain juga buat di lane-nya.
Valentina bahkan kalau awal-awal ngeliat Valentina Starlium itu kalau ketemu Idit biasanya ya. Tapi enggak, ternyata untuk sekarang kayak udah main spam, udah main pukul juga dari basic attack-nya. Tapi banyak juga berarti opsi untuk di IMU. Dan kalau banyaknya opsi justru jadi agak sedikit dilematis gak sih? Karena ada Primal Red, ada Root Manipulation juga untuk bisa di IMU oleh Valentina Om.
Ya. Itu sih keunggulan dengan penggunaan Valentina ya, selain IMU-nya tuh. Memang banyak opsi-opsi lah yang bisa diambil nantinya juga. Selain daripada opsi tersebut ya, mobilitas yang dimiliki dengan Valentina itu adalah mage yang bisa ngedash loh. Bisa double jump dia. Jadi lumayan bisa menjauhkan kalau memang lagi kena marah bahaya misalnya. Terus juga efek fear-nya ini lagi-lagi yang selalu ditakutin dengan hero-hero melee. Karena dengan mungkin hanya sepersekian detik ya kita terkena efek fear, efek terrify. Tapi itu udah cukup untuk lawan antara dia hilang, dia pergi, atau ya akan ada initiate engagement balik yang dilakukan dengan tim lawan juga. Jadi poin plus untuk Valentina kalau kita udah pick itu ya musuh bakal mikir nih, kalau kita mau ambil sisi besar, apakah nanti Valentina nggak bakal nge-copy dulu tuh kan yang pertama. Terus yang kedua ini nanti kalau kita tarung jarak dekat, kena terrify juga nih, susah juga nanti ketemu dengan Valentina.
Iya, ngadem lu, panas ya di sana ya. enak banget ya pasti untuk ngadep di sana, tapi yang kita di sini juga harus
Okay, we're back into it. We're moving around mid-action right now. Keyboy, go ahead, just doing some damage early on. This is the thing too. We haven't seen the Edith roam as much as we used to in the past.
No, it's been a pick that kind of has disappeared from the meta, man. The Edith in the roam position. Most of the times you use it in XP, but it is still a very, very good flex pick. And this time around, Indonesia will be utilizing Keyboy, the key moment maker of Indonesia, on the Edith. Early on, Xora, you can already see the little bit, the advantage, I would say, that the Alpha has now compared to the Suyo when it comes to clear after the hot fix.
It's pretty fast still, right? The Alpha has always been known. Whoa. Okay, mid-action.
Earthshatter and the Flicker earlier there with Albert as well. A little bit of a miscommunication and a misinput, it seems, for Indonesia early on.
Yeah, to start things up, if they can get that first blood, either of these teams, like you said, is going to be very momentum-based. This matchup, more so in the XP lane, kind of a dead matchup. You're not going to really see anyone go down or too much happen between the Hilda and the Uranus unless there's some support through one of the jungles to come up. And it looks like, you at least have Albert on that top side. But eventually that first objective comes up, and that's where you see, who's got these level 4s available, who's got these ultimates that they can actually utilize for the fight. And when it does come through, again, you're looking at the sustainability that a Rafaela provides to this lineup for Mongolia. So if they can play into that, they wait a little bit longer to get things set up, they should have somewhat of an advantage for the fight. But again, as long as they deal with that death box coming out from Sands here, Keyboy doesn't have the level 4 just yet, so he's going to give the information. And right now, both junglers just focusing on the buffs. They'll grab that and then make their way for this objective here. You can already see it. Getting in position, Mongolia. Luke, given the information.
Oh, a lot of damage placed. Spear of Alpha already connecting onto Luke, but again, use it onto Luke. I think Indonesia's going to be very happy. Onward in the Earthshatter, locking him down. Ison, very, very low. Caught on the wheel room inflation, but still has a sprint to escape. Keyboy now going to get all that damage placed onto him. First blood over to Mongolia. Luke gonna find an angle for a bit. Go for the forest, Spear of Alpha now towards Albert. We burst it down. Indonesia losing 2. Purify out from Luke. He's trying to dish out some damage together with Sans. Over to the Turtle. Retribution not ready just yet. Still, Xora picks it up. Luke picks up a kill back, but it's traded again. 3-1 plus the Turtle for Mongolia.
And that was the passive coming out from the Rafaela to clean that up. And that was a great take for Mongolia. We were talking about building the momentum early on, and that, man, Miracle, that just proved how much value those heals alone actually really help out. They extended the fight enough where even Luke, as tanky as he is, as even having a tenacity and the Brave Smite emblem, he took quite a bit of damage. And at some point, again, the concentration is going to be gone. You're going to run out of some of the resources that you have, and you just get out-sustained and outgunned. So Mongolia, they get a little bit of lead that they can work around with. A couple, confidence kills in that too. Mid lane.
Rappi's up. Orbit will match it. Real revelation. The Holy Baptism to lock him down as Xora picks another kill up for Mongolia.
So they pick it up. They move around from this point. Great start. Again, early game. Indonesia can still go ahead and try to find their footing at this point, but with this and how we were just painting the picture leading into this match, when you get a lead like this and you can build into it, either of the compositions are going to work.
Alpha over to Luke. Good stun over from Albert. Xora picking up some damage. Earthshatter over towards Xora. Very low. Chased out by Luke, but still able to escape for now. Luke takes the kill up. Now going to be terrified. Still able to pick up some damage. Our Wilderness already with a flicker out from Ethan. Albert with a snipe. Unable to get the full kill down. That's an onward, bringing Eisen back all the way towards the rest of Indonesia. They're able to get 2 kills on the board.
A good response coming out from Indonesia. Even with the sprint, Eisen not able to get away. And that's, that's always kind of the unfortunate thing when you are playing the Hilda. As great, as hot as she is right now, like Leo mentioned.
Super hot.
Super hot. First picked, by the way, for this blue side for Mongolia in game number 1. You can still get caught, even if you're sprinting out. And again, that's why the Edith was such a good pick, because with the onward, with the Earthshatter, if you can kind of follow through that, even if the real-world manipulation isn't used, you can still catch Eisen if you need to. Really, you can catch multiple people from Mongolia with that. So once again, second objective for the taking, second Turtle, half health here.
Sora trying to look for an opening. Good onward from Keyboy. As the turtle secured, now it's done over to Eisen. The rotation should be able to get the weakness points. Albert, Soul Sever, picks up the kill. That's a kill and a turtle. Meanwhile, though, Garo playing for the Moskov split push up top.
I don't know, man. You know, we talked about Suyo getting some of those nerfs. Still seems pretty good right now. I mean, look at the damage.
Crazy damage. Garo already forced to half HP. Meanwhile, CW given some space in the bottom lane.
All right, with the Valentina that we see so often, if you look across from this, the best choice really for the ultimates to be able to take, yeah, Eisen, oh no.
Good onward over to Eisen. No revitalize, so Indonesia could have gone for the commitment there, but CW will respect it, doesn't know where the rest of the team is.
It's going to be fine. They're just trying to hold down the turrets that they can, but you can see that, right? There's already pressure on the tier 2. Forbid holding on to the Primal Wrath, and that's what I was going to ask earlier, like, you know, if you're Forbid, you most likely, the majority of the time, you want to have your own real-world manipulation to fight in. This is a big item, big up, by the way. Flask of the Oasis now picked up here for Ethan, helping with that sustainability a little bit more. It looks like they want to fight this out.
Onward gets placed down. Spear of Alpha as well, just committing down onto Keyboy.
That was some speed, too. Like, that again, this is what you have when you have a Rafaela on your side. Not only with the heals, even that Flask picked up, but also the ability to roam and just kind of move around the map as quick as you want. So they're actually going to go ahead and trade things out here. Top turret goes down. Indonesia claims that one, and Mongolia will take the bottom tier 1 turret now in the bottom lane. So you can already see it, damage kind of falling into place, and this is where Mongolia has to kind of play catch up. They got to be able to get to where they need to be. And this is what we talked about the whole time, guys. Luke will do this all game. You can't ignore him, but also at one point, you've kind of got to deal with him. You can't just let Luke continuously push in the lanes, because then next thing you know, you don't have any turrets left. And now the last turtle of the game comes up. It's started up by Indonesia.
Earth Shadow over Zixora earlier, they're going to focus it down. Only got some mana. The Spear of Alpha already used it. Now Isaac walking up, and the crossbow tag is ready. Zixora jumping to the back line, but Sans will pick up a kill. That's CW in the back, just tearing it apart. And Forbid will be executed by Albert, who jumps in with a blade. Now it's Garo, all isolated. It's a double for Sans and a wipeout for Indonesia.
That was tough, man. That was a not the most synergized initiation from Mongolia, even with the Spear of Misery coming in a little bit late, where Garo just shows up and he's like, oh no, everybody's dead. That's tough to deal with at that point, so Mongolia is going to lose a massive swing in terms of momentum. You can see it, Indonesia gets that last objective, the turtle down, plus some turrets now, and they play into this. Hold on, Luke.
Gotta go on to him, Purify out, baits out a whole lot of resources. And the Suyo, Albert, up top, was able to just shove in for the way to be set up for another siege.
That's that power of the Purify we talked about earlier, especially when it's available. And then you have the Consecration. Here's an item we don't see often. The Malefic Gun is picked up by CW.
Over to Sans, still able to escape. The real world Ablation should be able to lock him down. We do have a pause. Oof, does seem like we're going to have to get through this. Don't know what that was exactly, if it was a disconnect. But yeah, Sans,
he's probably gone.
Overextended.
Yeah, he's overextended. So maybe again, we can only speculate. But Sans is probably going to lose his life here. You still have CW around and Keyboy, and it looks like they're on the retreat. Part of that though too is if this little team fight goes in favor of Mongolia here, they're able to get a pick off. Again, it's still a big swing that they have to bring back. You're talking about 4,000 or 5,000 gold lead right now for Indonesia, and this all happened on pretty much that last turtle fight we saw earlier. Like, it was a wipeout, an objective in the hands of Indonesia, and then they go and put pressure on these tier 2s. That's all to open up the opportunity for Indonesia then to take the Lord, and with the lineup that they have, they're able to box out Mongolia. And so I think when you're really looking at Mongolia's chances to go and contest, this Lord that's going to be coming up here in a bit, it's how do we fight into that objective box? Because that's exactly what it is, and that's why Eve is picked up so much. Do you think that this is enough? Like, because we've seen little catch-outs now from Mongolia where they're able to catch Luke, or at least someone. They catch Sans here, by the way, with a little overextension. But does Mongolia, are they in actually position to go ahead and contest in this first Lord?
I don't know. If they get Sans, I don't really think the death timer will be that long to punish over to the Lord, right? There's 81 seconds on the Lord. So it actually gives Indonesia still a lot of leeway. Despite making that mistake, despite making that overextension, they should still be able to recover very, very easily here with the death of Sans. And we'll get through into the game again. 4-bit picks up the kill over to Sans with a stolen RWM. And again, yeah, there's not really much they can do. Maybe put pressure on the mid lane turret, but that's it, right? No neutral objective to be taken here.
Well, I mean, when you're looking at the lineup, right, and every time you're up against the Eve, that was what the panel even talked about. You know, do you have enough to play that cat and mouse game? Do you have enough to go ahead and fight for these objectives? And for Mongolia, when you look at them across the board, as long as they approach those fights, that Lord fight that does come up in under a minute here, as a cat and mouse game where you're trying to just hunt for that right moment, trying to, you know, swivel your way through that real world manipulation, that might be the chance.
Hold on, Purify is taking a whole lot of damage. Maybe again overextending. Luke will lose his life. That's 27 seconds on the death timers. And again, I don't think it's enough to really give Mongolia a chance to go for the Lord just yet. The Spirit of Alpha over to Keyboy, still able to disengage. Real world manipulation locks him down. Eisen still able to escape. Keyboy with a flicker forward. Plus the Primal Wrath. Both just baiting out resources from one another.
Mongolia really wants to fight, man. That's what I'm noticing. They just want to go ahead and duke it out, brawl it out with Indonesia. It doesn't matter if they were behind, you know, 5,000 gold earlier on. They managed to pick up a couple kills now off of Sans, off of Luke earlier. So it gives them a little more leeway to work with. The Lord is up now. And this is where we have to see how do they play that macro game too. They're going to send Garu up to deal with that top wave, but they're just going to give it a go on the Lord.
Yeah, getting blitzed now by Zixora. That's the power of the Alpha when it comes to the Lord clear. Luke in the midst of it all. Now, it's going to be a knockoff from the Lord. Ethan,
there's a spear.
Escape for a bit. The Spirit of Destruction will land as well, but Zixora picks it up, winning the retreat battle. Eisen very low. San still looking for an angle to go for the poke. Primal Wrath from Orbit. CW re-engaging. Luke walking up. CW with the killing spree. Now on the chase onto Ethan. Zixora will be able to get the holy healing from Ethan to disengage, and that's a Lord for Mongolia.
Hey, great pickup objectively for Mongolia to play into. Even to the point where Garu didn't have to follow through with the SOD. Like, he just landed and he's got the call. Like, you know what, we got this under control. Go ahead and farm up and do what you need to do. And that's, again, what they have to do for this game and how they decide to take these fights. I'm surprised with how decisive Mongolia was to be like, you know what, let's just start up this Lord, take it down as fast as we can, and then win that fight. And so they're going to play into this. This is what they've needed for the past few minutes, right? They might still be down in gold, but you can see how you got to respect what this lineup can do against the lineup that Indonesia has. Tier 1 in the mid finally goes down. C. Albert also picked up by CW to help with some of that sustainability, that healing coming out from Ethan. Crucial items here too picked up, and you know, even to the sense, like, we haven't seen a huge crossbow of tank just yet. You know, that could change some of these later fights that we get to this. You might see them kind of set things up here.
The thing about the 1-1 here in the current meta, Naisu, is you actually fall off, right? You think about the crossbow tank, it's a big ultimate, it can be game-changing. But in the later stage, 11 minutes onwards, we're going to see a lot more Winter Crowns, and we already see it for Zixora. He's already picked up the Winter Crown. It's going to be a good way to actually neutralize the crossbow tank threat.
You know, that Winter Crown, it deals with the 1-1 so well, and I think part of that too is like, if you can just get them, that might be part of the game plan, you know, for Indonesia and for CW alone, is just get that crossbow of Tang off so you can proc, like force the proc with the Winter of Crowns, force Mongolia to use it, and then you follow through after that. So at this point, Boy was in concealed, not going to connect, but the turret does go down.
With an Earth Shatter early, now with Primal Wrath as well. Good Spirit of Alpha on the 2. Zixora still now going to be caught, pops in with a crown. Luke purifies out of there. Good bait from Luke. Now it's going to be Garu taking a whole lot of damage. CW just picks him up. Orbit flicker forward. CW will be able to survive, getting the shielding, I believe, from the Rose Gold Meteor. He's got Rose Gold, dog.
He's got Rose Gold. He's got everything. He's got the 4 kills. He didn't even have to crossbow of Tang off. He's just doing enough damage at this point, too. And so with that, again, Indonesia will go in the swing, now knocking the base turrets of Mongolia in this game 1. They're looking to possibly finish it here.
Another wave to help Mongolia. Here, Eisen, I don't know if he can clear it up just with a Rafaela. 7 seconds on Garu. That's 2 for Zixora. That's 2 base turrets taken down for Indonesia. They must disengage now. They should be happy with that.
Okay.
14 seconds for the Enhanced Lord to spawn in the game.
They buy themselves some more time into the game. Look at this big gap, even between the junglers. We talked about the Alpha and the Suyo matchup quite a bit. We see it so often, but Albert also was just able to scale up really quickly here. Here's another Malefic Gun picked up now by Garu. So he's got that. You can see how the gold has fallen into place. And now, once again, objectively, the Lord for the take, Sixora won't land that spear. So they might be forced off of this. It looks like already Indonesia's going to force them off of the Lord the best they can. Yevgaro now down towards the mid. How do they play this out? About a half health on the Lord for now.
It's a window of opportunity with no hold on Sixora. They just burst him down with the real revelation. Keyboy went in for initiation earlier. Now it's a crossbow attack ready. They buy it with a crowd, but it's a bit too late as Ethan will just get disintegrated by the crossbow attack. Another chase forward as Albert will try to get the Soul Sever. Not in range, but they've wiped out Mongolia in a way. It's just Garo. There's a few waves coming down. They're going to try to manage it for all of it to crash down together.
They already know. They're getting in formation here. Indonesia ready to end the game. The minions marching in.
Let's see if Garo can make a miracle play. Luke will just tank it up. He gets stunned up, and there's the inevitable wipeout to come for Indonesia in game number 1. It's a 1-0 lead now in a best of 3. Remember, single elimination.
Took us a little bit to get to, but we got through a game number 1. Again, 14 minutes and 13 seconds. Indonesia to go ahead.